So he said, man, that's tax evasion. You can go to prison. It's like haters. When you get haters, you know, people's opinion of you is none of your business. I have lots of haters.
Lori Harvey and Sean Diddy Combs, a pairing that dominated headlines and sparked endless speculation. But what if the story behind their rumored relationship is darker than anyone could have imagined? For years, the entertainment world has been buzzing with whispers about what really went down between the rising model and the hip-hop mogul, a man nearly 3 decades her senior. Now new rumors suggest there's far more to the story than glamorous vacations and matching outfits. Could Lori Harvey have been caught up in a web of power plays, family connections, and hidden motives? And could her silence finally be breaking?
Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a...
When Lori Harvey, the stepdaughter of comedian and television host Steve Harvey, first appeared on the scene with Diddy in the summer of 2019, the world took notice. At only 2019, the world took notice. At only 22 years old, Lori was already a fixture in the fashion world, making waves on runways and red carpets. Meanwhile, Diddy, at 49 years old, was a cultural icon with a reputation for throwing some of the most exclusive events in the entertainment industry. Their rumored romance seemed to come out of nowhere, and the public was quick to comment on everything from their significant age gap to their undeniable chemistry. But as glamorous as things looked on the surface, there were always murmurs that something much darker was lurking underneath.
22 and 49.
Diddy is 49 years old.
Oh, man!
That is a 27-year difference.
The first red flag for many was the peculiar connection between Lori and Diddy's family. Lori reportedly had a prior link to Diddy's son, Justin Combs, fueling speculation that the situation was more complicated than it seemed. While Lori dismissed the claims, saying she had never dated Justin, the optics of the situation were hard to ignore. It wasn't long before rumors swirled that Diddy's interest in Lori wasn't as simple as a romantic fling, but rather part of a larger pattern of control and influence in his personal life. Some insiders even alleged that Lori's association with Diddy might have had less to do with love and more to do with maintaining her position in the spotlight. Was this a genuine connection, or was Lori being manipulated by one of the most powerful figures in the entertainment world?
Diddy's lady.
Didn't Diddy's son date her?
Yes. That cannot.
Adding to the intrigue was Steve Harvey's apparent silence on the matter. As a father figure known for his strong opinions and protective nature, many expected Steve to intervene or at least publicly address the situation. Instead, he stayed noticeably quiet. The few times he was spotted with Lori and Diddy, such as during a trip to Italy where the trio dined together, his demeanor seemed almost distant, leading some to speculate that something was amiss. Could Diddy have used his influence to keep Steve in check? Some theorists have gone as far as to suggest that Diddy may have leveraged his vast resources, whether financial or otherwise, to ensure Steve's compliance. After all, Diddy has long been known for his ability to wield power behind the scenes, and Steve's silence only added fuel to the fire.
Diddy and Lori Harvey, they're heating things up in Italy. Notice her arm is on the back of his chair.
Shocking!
But the real turning point in the narrative came when whispers began to circulate about what might have happened at Diddy's infamous gatherings. Known for his extravagant parties, Diddy's events were the stuff of legend, lavish affairs attended by the biggest names in Hollywood and music. While these gatherings were often portrayed as glamorous celebrations of success and excess, rumors have long suggested that they were also breeding grounds for questionable behavior. Some attendees have alleged that these parties were carefully orchestrated environments where Diddy maintained control over everyone present, ensuring that his power remained unquestioned. Could Lori have been drawn into this world, unaware of the full extent of what she was getting into?
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those 2 raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
Insiders have claimed that Lori's time with Diddy wasn't as idyllic as it appeared in paparazzi photos. While the public saw luxurious vacations and high-profile outings, those close to the situation have hinted at a more troubling reality. Some suggest that Lori may have felt pressured to stay in Diddy's orbit, fearing the consequences of walking away from such a powerful figure. Others have drawn comparisons between Lori's experience and the allegations made by Cassie, another of Diddy's former partners who recently came forward with her own story. While Lori has yet to speak publicly about her time with Diddy, some believe her silence speaks volumes. Could she have been waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth?
So she claims she did try to leave several times, but Diddy would always send his team to find her, track her down, bring her back, under the basis that her career would be ruined if she left.
One of the most persistent rumors surrounding Lori and Diddy's relationship is the idea that Lori may have been exposed to situations that left her feeling powerless. While no direct evidence has surfaced to confirm these claims, the parallels between Lori's story and those of others who have spoken out against Diddy are hard to ignore. Some have speculated that Lori's presence at Diddy's events wasn't entirely voluntary, and that she may have been subjected to the same controlling tactics that others have described. If true, this would paint a very different picture of their relationship, one that raises serious questions about the dynamics of power and influence in Hollywood.
She claimed when she tried to leave Diddy in 2017, he forced himself into her apartment and her.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Complicating matters further is Lori's connection to Kim Porter, Diddy's former partner and the mother of 3 of his children. Lori reportedly had a close friendship with Kim before her untimely passing, adding another layer of complexity to her relationship with Diddy. Some have wondered whether Lori's bond with Kim may have played a role in her decision to spend time with Diddy, perhaps out of a sense of loyalty or obligation. Others have suggested that Diddy may have used this connection to his advantage, knowing that Lori's ties to his family would make it harder for her to distance herself from him. Whatever the case, the intersection of personal relationships and power dynamics makes this story even murkier.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
As the rumors continue to swirl, one thing is clear. Lori Harvey's time with Diddy was far from the fairy tale it was made out to be. While the truth about what really happened between them remains elusive, the whispers of hidden motives, manipulation, and control are impossible to ignore. Could Lori have been a pawn in a larger game, used to maintain Diddy's image and influence? And if so, what role did Steve Harvey play in all of this? These are questions that many are now asking, and the answers could change everything.
We all saw it posted yesterday all over our social media pages. Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
The narrative takes an even darker turn when considering the possibility that Lori may have been aware of more than she let on. Some insiders have hinted that Lori could hold key information about what really went on at Diddy's events, information that could potentially expose the darker side of his empire. If true, this would explain why she has remained so tight-lipped about her time with him. Could Lori be preparing to break her silence, or is she still grappling with the weight of what she experienced? Either way, her story is far from over.
Approaching, she said it then became clear it was the opportunity to either speak up about the trauma she's experienced and she'll be recovering from for the rest of her life, or just kind of remain silent. So she chose to speak up.
As the first section of this unfolding drama comes to a close, the stage is set for an even deeper exploration of the connections, motivations, and consequences that define this complex web of relationships. What role did Steve Harvey really play in Lori's relationship with Diddy, and how does it tie into the larger narrative of Diddy's controversial past? These questions lead us directly into the next part of the story, where the focus shifts to the power dynamics at play and the potential fallout from Lori's rumored involvement in ongoing investigations. The truth may be more shocking than anyone ever imagined.
That he controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone.
The silence surrounding Steve Harvey's involvement in Lori Harvey's relationship with Sean Diddy Combs has always raised eyebrows. Here's a man known for giving life advice, writing bestsellers, and standing as a pillar of moral authority in the entertainment world. Yet, when it came to his stepdaughter being linked to a high-profile figure like Diddy, whose reputation has been marred by rumors and controversies for years, Steve seemed to have turned a blind eye. Why? Could it be that Steve was complicit in keeping Lori tied to this relationship for reasons we don't yet fully understand? Or was he simply unable or unwilling to challenge someone as powerful as Diddy? The truth might be more complicated than it seems. Steve Harvey's public persona is built on his ability to manage his family brand. From his wildly popular talk shows to his best-selling books on relationships, Steve has always positioned himself as a father figure, not just to his own children, but to millions of fans. He's the go-to guy for advice on how men should treat women, so his silence during Lori and Diddy's rumored romance felt strange, to say the least. At the time, Steve was spotted dining with Lori and Diddy in Italy, but he gave no public statements about the relationship, even as the media erupted into a frenzy over the significant age gap and the potential power imbalance between the two. Was Steve's silence a way of protecting his family's image, or was there something more sinister at play?
Let's first say that you shouldn't feel guilty for anything.
Some insiders have suggested that Steve may have had his own reasons for staying quiet. Diddy's wealth and influence in the entertainment industry are unmatched. Not only does he control a vast empire that spans music, fashion, and media, but he's also known for his ability to keep people in line, whether through charm, financial incentives, or more forceful methods. Could Steve have been intimidated by Diddy's power? Some speculate that Diddy might have had leverage over Steve, perhaps in the form of damaging information or the promise of financial support for his projects. After all, Steve's career hasn't been without its own controversies, from his infamous Miss Universe blunder to rumors about turbulence in his marriage. Could Diddy have used this to his advantage, ensuring that Steve remained supportive about his relationship with Lori?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So I love my man, but what you mean, but?
Others believe that Steve may have simply been outmaneuvered. Diddy is known for his ability to control narratives and shape public perception. For years, he was the man who could make or break careers, and his reputation for throwing legendary events only added to his mystique. It's possible that Steve, despite his usual confidence and charisma, felt powerless to intervene. After all, Lori was an adult, and her decisions were ultimately her own to make. But that explanation doesn't sit well with everyone. Steve has never been one to shy away from speaking his mind, especially when it comes to his family. So why did he choose to stay silent this time?
Please, stop. Stop ignoring the red flags in your relationship and thinking you can change a man.
One theory is that Steve may have seen Lori's relationship with Diddy as a strategic move. Lori had been steadily building her own brand as a model and influencer, and being linked to someone as high profile as Diddy could have elevated her career to new heights. From a purely business perspective, the relationship might have seemed like a win-win. Lori would gain exposure while Diddy would benefit from the fresh energy and appeal she brought to his life. But this theory raises an uncomfortable question. Was Lori's relationship with Diddy authentic, or was it part of a larger plan to boost her visibility in the entertainment world? And if it was the latter, how much of a role did Steve play in orchestrating, or at least endorsing, this arrangement? As speculation about Steve's involvement continues to grow, attention has also turned to Diddy's current legal troubles and how they might connect to Lori's story. Diddy is facing a barrage of accusations, including claims of misconduct and exploitation at his infamous events. These claims paint a troubling picture of a man who used his wealth and influence to create an environment where boundaries were blurred and power dynamics were skewed heavily in his favor. While Lori has not come forward with any allegations against Diddy, some believe she may hold key information that could shed light on his behavior. Could Lori have witnessed something during her time with Diddy that she hasn't yet revealed? And if so, is it possible that she's cooperating with authorities behind the scenes?
I think that was it for me. I think because I was young, I was still trying to figure out who I was and what do I like and what don't I like.
There's also the question of how Diddy's ongoing legal battles could impact Steve and Lori's reputations. If Lori were to come forward with her own story, it would undoubtedly send shockwaves through the entertainment world. Not only would it add credibility to the allegations against Diddy, but it would also raise serious questions about Steve's role in the situation. Did he know more than he let on? And if so, why didn't he do anything to protect his stepdaughter? These are the kinds of questions that could tarnish Steve's carefully cultivated image as a family man and moral authority.
To check me and be like, hey, what you doing? You good? You need to shake out of it. And maybe be like, okay, yeah, you're right, I'm tripping.
But what if Lori's silence isn't a sign of complicity, but rather a strategic move? Some insiders believe that Lori is waiting for the right moment to share her story, perhaps as part of a broader legal strategy or media campaign. If this is the case, it would explain why she has remained so tight-lipped about her time with Diddy, even as rumors and speculation continue to swirl. It's also worth noting that Lori has been steadily distancing herself from the controversy, focusing instead on her career and personal growth. Could this be a sign that she's preparing to take control of the narrative, or is it simply a way of moving on from a chapter she'd rather forget?
When it comes to dating, Lori ain't got a damn thing. I got.
Meanwhile, Diddy's empire appears to be crumbling under the weight of these accusations. His reputation as a cultural icon is being overshadowed by the mounting legal challenges he faces, and his once loyal inner circle seems to be fracturing. Some of his former associates have begun speaking out, sharing stories that align with the allegations against him. This shift in public perception could make it easier for Lori to come forward, knowing that she's not alone in her experiences. But it also raises the stakes, as any revelations from Lori would likely become a focal point in the ongoing investigations into Diddy's behavior.
What's the best advice they've given you?
Just remember that you're the prize at all times.
Boom.
Best advice.
The stakes are high not just for Diddy, but for everyone connected to him. including Lori and Steve. If Lori does decide to share her story, it could have far-reaching implications for her family. Steve, in particular, could find himself in an uncomfortable position, forced to reconcile his public persona with the decisions he made, or didn't make, behind the scenes he made, or didn't make, behind the scenes. How would he explain his silence during Lori's relationship with Diddy? And more importantly, how would his audience react to the revelation that he may have prioritized his career and reputation over his stepdaughter's well-being?
So I don't give them no energy. I give haters no energy. Steve ain't this, he think he this. You don't even know me.
As the story continues to unfold, one thing is clear. The truth has a way of coming to light, no matter how deeply it's buried. Whether Lori chooses to speak out or not, the questions surrounding her relationship with Diddy and Steve's role in it are unlikely to go away anytime soon. The entertainment world loves a good scandal, but this one feels different, more personal, more consequential. It's not just about the drama. It's about power, influence, and the lengths people will go to protect their reputations.
So I just keep going through. But then I'll tell you something too. Haters motivate me. Because when they talking about me, that means I'm doing something.
What's especially striking is the growing belief that Steve Harvey might have known more about Diddy's controversial lifestyle than he let on. Insiders close to the entertainment industry have hinted that whispers about Diddy's behavior have circulated for years, particularly within elite circles. If Steve was aware of even a fraction of the allegations tied to Diddy, it raises serious questions about why he didn't step in. Was it out of fear for his own career? Or did he believe Lori could navigate the situation on her own? Some speculate that Steve may have underestimated just how deep Diddy's influence ran, assuming Lori's association with him would remain strictly professional or superficial. If that's the case, it could explain his silence, though it doesn't absolve him of responsibility in the eyes of the public. Even more intriguing is the possibility that Steve's silence wasn't just about protecting his family's image, but also about shielding his own secrets. Over the years, Steve has built a media empire that thrives on his polished image as a loving husband, a devoted father, and a man of wisdom. But this image has been tested before, particularly with rumors about his wife Marjorie's alleged connections to controversial figures in her past. Could Steve have felt that speaking out against Diddy might have invited scrutiny into his own life, potentially unearthing details he'd rather keep hidden? The entertainment world thrives on scandal, and it's not far-fetched to think that Steve might have opted to stay quiet to avoid becoming part of the story himself.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you gotta do that. I was f***ed up.
Adding another layer to the intrigue is Lori's own calculated approach to her public image. While her silence about Diddy is noticeable, she has remained active on social media, presenting a curated version of her life that emphasizes luxury, fashion, and independence. This strategy has led some to wonder if Lori is intentionally distancing herself from the drama while still keeping herself relevant in the public eye. Could this be a way of reclaiming her narrative without directly addressing her past? Or is it simply a way to avoid fueling further speculation? Whatever the reason, Lori's unwillingness to comment directly on her time with Diddy has only deepened the mystery, leaving fans and critics alike to fill in the blanks.
Rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
So where does this leave us? For now, we're left with more questions than answers. Why did Steve Harvey stay silent during Lori's relationship with Diddy? Was he complicit, or was he simply trying to protect his family? And what role, if any, did Lori play in Diddy's larger empire? These are the kinds of questions that keep people talking, speculating, and searching for the truth. And as new details emerge, it's clear that this story is far from over. Will Lori finally break her silence, or will she continue to focus on her career, leaving the past behind? Share your insights below, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity updates,